next speaker was a member of Monkland for 27 years from 1967 to 94. He was Monkland Junior Champion. He was the reason why I was always Monkland finalist. He's won 24 Monkland Club Championships from 1978 to 1995, 10 in singles, 9 doubles with his regular partner, the late Andre Cote, and also twice with his brother Mike, who is here tonight as well. He won the mixed doubles 5 times, 3 times with Louise, and once with Chantal Racicot and Mary Sellier. He held the number 1 ranking in juniors between the ages of 11 and 18 all the way through. He's always excelled at the national level. He's competed winning against many ex-Davis Cup players, such as, if you know tennis, Glenn Michabata, Richard Legendre, Dale Power, Harry Fritz. These are big names in Canadian tennis. As well, he gave Régent Genois a close match in the final of the Canadian Closed Championships, losing in 2 tiebreakers. He played his junior college tennis in Pensacola, Florida, was named All-American at Shorter College in Georgia, and he is currently a pro at the Hampstead Tennis Club, ending his 19th season there and returning to Nuns Island for his 14th season. It's Mr. Greg Boire.
Lots of memories, wow. It's a real privilege to be here tonight. I grew up here with Sandy. You know, they talked about the 24 titles. That record will be broken. But the one record that will never be broken is winning the mixed doubles title with 2 ex-wives. That will never be broken. Never. You know, as a kid coming here to the Monkland, I loved it. I mean, I loved coming here as a junior. It was the place to hang out. You know, my parents used to say, do you want to go to camp? There's this camp, that camp. The Monkland Tennis Club for me was my camp. My 2 brothers, my 2 sisters, we all grew up here. My father would drop us off at 8:30 in the morning, pick us up at 5:30 at night. My 2 sisters, very accomplished provincial players. My younger brother, and that was a member here until the early 90s, till he moved to Toronto. We won a couple of doubles titles here together. And my older brother played until he was 17, because at the age of 17, he played his 12-year-old bratty brother, and he had a decision to make after he lost. He said, either I'm going to kill my brother or I'm going to quit tennis. And he didn't play for the next 25 years. Good old Rich. You know, just so many memories here. Just a couple of real quick one then. My first match here, Frank Korpas steered the ship here for many, many years. He was our great coach. And he decided that when I was, I guess I was about 9 or so, I was ready for my first interclub junior match. I remember playing it out on court 9. My father, who at that time was the president here of the Monkland Tennis Club, he served as president here in the mid-60s. And so it was great coming to the club here when your father was the president, by the way. But anyways, he came home on the Sunday before and said, you know, my mom's name was Joan. Joan, I'm exhausted. I played 6 sets of tennis today. Played with Hilly Dunn, Doug Robertson, and Jean-Louis Lamoureux, 6 sets of tennis. So that stuck in my mind. So the next day I'm coming out here to play an interclub match, junior and interclub, out there on court 9, because that's where the juniors were only allowed, on courts 8 and 9. And I go up against the Mount Royal Tennis Club, and our arch rival. And I'm playing against Todd Binns. Now at that time, Ken Binns was the pro at the Mount Royal, and his son Todd, who was a year older than me. So we go out there, Todd's mother's behind the fence, my mom's behind the fence, watching the match and this and that. And Todd had been playing for a couple of years. This is my first match. And Todd beat me just like Crichton was saying, you know, that match. Double bagel, love and love. So Todd is standing at the net ready to shake my hand. And I'm there, what's your problem? And he goes, we're finished. I said, no, we're playing 6 sets of tennis. My father told me, you got to play 6 sets. And So I go back to the back fence, and my mother's there standing. She said, Gregory, what are you doing? I said, I'm not finished. I'm playing 6 sets, Mom. You go shake that boy's hand and get off the court. So that was my first experience here. Sandy mentioned about we were talking yesterday about the Monkland spirit. And, it involves tennis, the camaraderie, all the parties and that. My last year here in juniors, we had some big tournaments here over the years, but we had never had the nationals held here. And my last year juniors, we are hosting the nationals. The 18 and unders were here. The 16 and unders were being held over at Mount Royal, 14s at Côte St. Luc and all that. It was my first year of playing 12 months of the year. I'd gone down to Pensacola, as I mentioned earlier, so I was playing now 12 months of the year. Been over to Europe, and I'm at the top of my game. I'm like, whoa. So I come in here. I'm seated second. I'm going to my home turf, playing in the Monkland Tennis Club, looking at being national junior champ, and the first day it rains. And I'm there, oh my gosh. I was okay playing on hard courts. I remember we had to go over to Nuns Island, and I had to play this fellow first round named Bill Geddes, who was an accomplished player as well. And a bunch of the Monkland people, that Monkland spirit, came over actually to watch play at Nuns Island. And I lost 7-5 in the third set. The top seed gone. Day one of the nationals. All my dream, whatever, And I'm sitting there, and I go to the far end of the club in the sauna. And I'm bawling my eyes out. And who comes over? I was sharing this story last night with him. He's not here tonight. Danny Allman. And Danny comes over in the sauna. He found me. And he puts his arm around me. I'll never forget this. And he goes, Greg, you're going to go back to the club. You're going to win the consolations. You're going to win the doubles. And you're going to end up getting ranked third. And you know what? That's what ended up happening. It was amazing, I remember the finals. The finals was between Mike Puck and Dan Whitaker out here on court 2. And I played Colin McAlpin on court 7 in the finals of the consolation. And East Beach was jammed, and there was like 3 or 4 people watching the finals here. That was the Monkland spirit. Last story, and again it involves the Monkland. There was one hiccup in those 11 years, I think, that that I won the singles title. And the Monkland spirit got the best of me. It was a Thursday night, and during the men's club championship, this place used to be full. I'm still sure full now, but people were here. And what happened? I'm playing Mike Mate. Mike remembers this story. We shared it last night, and I'm playing Mike, and I win the first set 6-1. Mike was a good player. I had to be at the top of my game. I won the first set 6-1. I'm up 2-11 in the second, and it starts to rain. It's a Thursday night. Starts to rain. We come off, we're waiting. Place is jammed here, people. So what happens when the Monkland Tennis was jammed? Party time. Party. Let's get the band going. Those of you remember the band? Jacques Patnaud, Bob Andrews, Doug Robertson on sax, and Bob Andrews, right? Who did the guitar. The band came, played all night. Mike had to leave the next day to go to Toronto. He says, Greg, you better get home, man, because you're in trouble. I said, no. He said, anyways, we went out the next morning. I tried to finish the match. And Mike was up 3-love in the third against me. He had to catch the flight to Toronto, and he said, Greg, take it. Try to go out in the afternoon. And that afternoon, it's still no better. Played Bob Barry, and Bob Barry took me out in straight sets. So that was the Monkland spirit, once again. But all good memories. Last thing, I've been to a lot of clubs, worked at a lot of clubs, the Racket Club. Now I go out to Nuns. I head over to Hampstead. But whenever I hear someone say, what's happening at the club, only one club comes to mind when I hear the club, the Monkland Tennis Club. Thanks a lot, everybody.